Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. Here we are back in London in Watch Dogs Legion. It's a nice sunny day and we're next to the MI5 building. There it is, where all the secret spying stuff and James Bondy things go on. So today, just a follow-up video to the video I made about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There were quite a few comments on that, and it's one of those things where even if I reply to comments, it's hard to get it all into one comment because different comments are saying different things. So I just thought I'd make another little video following up some of the things that were said, because it's an interesting topic, not just about Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's just an interesting topic in general, because I think in most people now, I think in gaming, in general, actually media, unless you're a woke activist, you're kind of anti-woke. I think it's quite a big movement of anti-wokeism now, and the woke backlash is strong, the force is strong with us. So I think it's normal when you've been annoyed and frustrated and disappointed in all those things so many times with woke games, and we can go through a list, I won't, of all the games we've talked about on this channel and other games I haven't, that have been woke and awful and disappointing, to kind of be angry when any game comes out and there's some kind of woke content. I feel like that. I don't blame anyone else for feeling like that, because that's my natural reaction as well. So I get that. But equally, I think we have to take each case as it comes, because all games that have some element of diversity or wokeism are not necessarily bad. For example, we're in Watch Dogs Legion, and this actually, because it's in London, and London is diverse. So in London, if you saw this and you were thinking woke, you'd think, oh my god, there's loads of ethnic characters, but of course there is, because it's London. So every game, just because it's got, that's a obvious example, but every game, just because it's got something diverse or that might not woke, does not mean it's woke. Watch Dogs Legion is not woke. So it's a point of balancing whether something is pushed on you, as in Assassin's Creed Shadows, where you've got the main character who's just shoved in there because maybe somewhere in history there might have been one black samurai, possibly, and it's a complete stretch to say it was someone important, and to make the main character black just because there might have been one is obviously woke. There's no question that's what that is. And anyone who says different is crazy, basically, or an activist. But then there's a different thing where you have situations, often in past times in Victorian society, in medieval society, where you're going to end up with games or media in general. It happens in movies, it happens in TV, where you've got occasional black or ethnic characters. Then the question is it reasonable, not 100% reasonable, because we're talking about games and media and fantasy and drama, so and fiction, so of course doesn't have to be 100% reasonable, but is it reasonable that it might be a black character or an ethnic character in these areas in those times? And it's possible. So then I think the next thing is, which I mentioned in a couple of the comments I made, that I think in the modern world, not the modern audience, but the modern world, there's going to be a situation where diversity is going to creep into every kind of form of media. So if you have a game about Second World War, about Victorian Britain, about medieval Europe, doesn't matter what setting it is and how much the setting probably didn't have in this particular setting. I'm not saying there wasn't in the Second World War in Victorian Britain, but even if you have a setting where there probably wasn't ethnic or black characters involved in that particular part of the story or the real life story, they're going to fit some in, because that's what the way of the world is now. So then the question is it really offensive to the story? Is it really over the top, and is it kind of believable? So, again, in Victorian Britain, it's quite possible you would have ethnic or a few black characters, not lots. In any situation in the last 100 or 200 years in Europe, you might have ethnic or black characters, and the same with medieval times. You might have a black character who's come from Africa or come through from Africa via Spain or whatever. It's possible. Same with Oriental characters that might have come from Asia. So it's possible, and then we have to balance out, well, we're going to get this anyway, so is it reasonable that there's one And I think we have to just balance that out. We can't think in terms of what it might have been 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because that's never going to happen now. Whether we think it's right or wrong, we're never going to go back to that. So it's a question of balancing out what we're going to get, because we're going to get it, and how woke it is, and how much it affects the game or the plot or the characters. And as I've said at the beginning, if it's Assassin's Creed and you shove in a black main character as a ninja, that's ridiculous. And if you had a situation in medieval Europe where every character, or virtually every character, was woke, as in trans or black or ethnic or whatever it might be, that would also be ridiculous. But yeah, if it's a black character and it's not the main character, okay, it is what it is. You know, I think going back, you know, quite a while in cinema, you know, there was I remember seeing a Robin Hood film where a couple of the merry men were black. So it's not a new thing, and I think it's just something it's going to be the way it is. So regardless of whether we like it or not, and I'm not saying I don't like it, I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a black character in Robin Hood, as long as it's not Robin Hood, because that's not going to be fictionally correct to how the story is. But if you have a black character in his band, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think we have to balance out what is going to happen anyway, and what's completely ridiculous. And in the case of, again, coming back to the original topic, in the case of Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's not shockingly ridiculous to have one black character. As I said, if it's a non-main character, it's possible one would be there, probably not. Is it going to really affect the game? Probably not. And is it something that we probably wouldn't be bothered about if we weren't so on the woke or anti-woke bandwagon? Probably not. So I think it's all a balancing thing. And like I said, you know, I can see all the different sides to this, and as I said, you know, my first reaction to seeing anything that might be slightly woke is, oh my god, that's woke. But like I said, it is what it is, and we're going to have to balance out slight wokeism, as in diversity, compared to extreme wokeism being pushed on games and media where it's completely inappropriate to the story or the situation. So anyway, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching from Guessagaingaming. Till next time, take care for now.